Bears, this is Mia Colvin reporting for the Olympus. In this Bearpod episode, I'll be interviewing athletes to find out how playing sports affects and influences their diets. To start the episode, I have freshman Amelia Lehman with me today, who participates in both track and cross country. For our first question, what are some of the difficult parts of playing your sport?
Definitely one of the harder parts is our harder workouts because I burn a lot more calories and I get a lot more tired. Definitely one of the harder workouts though is 200 repeats because since my main event is the 400, we do a lot of longer-ish sprint workouts, and usually we'll do 8 or 9 200 repeats, and they get really tiring.
Yeah, and then do you feel like you have to alter your meal plan at all during this season or during this time?
For sure. I usually, because my mom packs my lunch, I usually ask for more fruit or more healthier snacks like granola bars or applesauce, just things that will give me more energy.
Yeah, perfect. And then we kind of already talked about that, but is that the main food groups that you would say people should incorporate during this time? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Just healthier foods.
Got it. And then can you feel the difference in your performance when you don't eat a certain way during this time?
Yeah, so usually I get really stressed before races and stuff, which is normal, and I tend to stress eat. And so if I catch myself eating junk food like candy or chips, usually I can feel it during my race where I feel this heavy feeling in my stomach and my chest where it's oh, I probably shouldn't have eaten that. But if I try to avoid stress eating or if I eat healthier snacks, usually I don't feel like that.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of different diets are used during this time. Is there one that you've tried that you don't recommend or one that you just know doesn't work?
Yeah, I know a lot of people because for running and stuff, they tend to just not eat because I think that's the better option, but that's definitely not good because you need energy to run. You need energy to do activities, so yeah.
And then, do you think diet is as important as training when it comes to sports?
For sure. I think if you don't eat well, then your training won't pay off as much because, if you're training, if you're doing all this hard training, but then you're not giving your body enough fuel to, do, effective training, then it's not going to work out. It's just going to be all for nothing, kind of. So it's really important to just be eating healthy and just be a little bit more conscious about what you're putting into your body.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Next part of the episode, I'll be speaking with Isla Kennelly. As well as being an athlete, Kennelly is a vegetarian and has lots of helpful information for those trying to balance dietary preferences and sports. Okay, Isla, so for our first question, what do you think you need an excess of when playing sports?
So, because I don't eat meat, there's a lot of alternate protein sources that are much different than a normal athlete. So it's a lot of quinoa and beans and tofu, but there also is fake meat alternatives with soy. You might have heard of it, Impossible or Beyond, which are great substitutes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And then are portion sizes different for you during this time? Are they bigger, smaller?
So, depends on when you're in season or when you're in training. So, when you're in training, you're mostly focusing about building muscle and getting your workouts in. And then for season, it's more just timing it with your games. Do I want something maybe a quick carb or something that's going to last me longer throughout a 5-day tournament?
Yeah, okay. And then how does being vegetarian change the way you eat during the season? You kind of mentioned it, but is there anything else you want to say about that?
I think it's always hard to accommodate with team dinners, but usually teammates are really accommodating, and it's great because it actually kind of builds connection, and you're able to see how your teammates adapt to different people and their personalities.
Yeah, do you have any personal favorites, like substitutions for meat or anything like that?
I love tofu. I think it's pretty great. There's so many different ways to do with it. It kind of gets a bad rap, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Okay. And then, is there anything you've tried that hasn't really worked?
I am not a fan of tempeh. It is there's vegetarian in more a modern sense, and there's raw vegetarian vegan. Tempeh is very usually uncooked, cold. It's very earthy. It is not my type of thing.
Yeah. And then last question. So, what are some snacks that you like to eat? This one doesn't necessarily have to be about being vegetarian, but what are some snacks that you would recommend before?
I think eggs are great, and avocado. Bananas are also great too.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, Bears, it looks like this is the end of the episode. Hopefully this information will be helpful for any of you participating in spring sports and sports in the future. Comment below any suggestions you have for athletes and have a great rest of your day.